In 5,
Welcome.
4,
3, 7,
27,
33.
welcome
1.
to the entertainment
Welcome.
podcast. Do you like my fake glasses?
Yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah.
You got a prescription in there, or is it just clear?
They are the generic blue blockers. Blue block. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's supposed to
Nice.
Yeah, it's supposed to help with the circadian rhythms of things, but I'm probably supposed to wear it at night and not in the morning. But whatever.
See, I would assume you would want to wear it while you're looking at a screen
Yeah,
to
it
block out
helps
all
with
some of that blue light.
Yeah, but technically in the morning you're supposed to have blue light because that's when the sun comes up.
Gotcha.
But I'm just doing it in general. I am doing it to minimize the fatigue. So, yeah. So if you want to get your hands on some cheap blue blocks, maybe I'll put a link in the description. Why not? Yeah. Amazon delivers.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
They're a little.
All right. So this is the Loki post show.
Glary. Loki.
Ooh, you got a little glare.
A little bit of glare. Yeah. I don't know if they're that good. I don't think I can recommend these. If you want to click the link in the description, I'll send you.
Don't put the link.
I'll put the link to a better pair. I'll put the link to a better pair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah. So what'd you think? What'd you think of Loki?
It's a show in the Marvel Universe.
Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy the first episode? 51 minutes?
I am ready to enjoy it.
But did you enjoy the first
Very
one?
prepared for the next episode. I enjoyed.
Okay.
There were nuggets of this that I enjoyed. There were some things in here that were entertaining.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I liked about it, and generally, I thought, yes, there is a lot of setup going on. But for the casual viewer, I think you have to go back and remind them that this is 2012 Loki.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's why
everything
he's
that
not
happened
dead.
in the Dark World, everything that happened in Thor Ragnarok, everything that happened in Endgame is all not part of who this guy is.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought they did a good job of getting everybody to square one as far as what is going on with which version of Loki this is, where he's at mentally, but then also recognizing that people probably like Thor Ragnarok and Avengers Endgame Loki more because he's a little less murdery.
Yeah.
And so how do they get that? How do they get him, that character, from A to like M in a short amount of time? How do they get him closer to that M version than the A version? So I thought they did a good job of that. And then also, man, like they do a full blown, we're going to explain exactly how the multiverse works in the Marvel Universe as it currently stands with that cartoon.
With a cartoon explainer video. Yeah.
Yes, cartoon explainer video. Very much we were talking about Jurassic Park the other day, so it's got me thinking about that, where the little DNA strand explains how the dinosaurs came back.
I'm surprised there wasn't like a sales pitch for a webinar at the end of that. Yeah. But seriously, I don't know that they needed to explain in that much detail. Unless people are unless people really are getting dumber. You know what I mean? And like, I hate to always go back to Star Wars, but the reason it was so good was it just threw you into it. Like you were just in the middle of it. You don't know what anything is. You're just in it and you're just experiencing the story as it's happening.
Right.
And you're like, whoa, this is crazy. They could have just been like, whoa, this is crazy. And maybe started with episode 2. You know what I mean? You didn't need I don't know if you needed an entire episode of exposition, but they did it in a very entertaining way. I'm just saying, I don't know. I hope people are more intelligent than this episode seems to assume they are.
Well, I think for me, at least with that cartoon and explaining like the multiverse, having that there was kind of nice in the sense that my thought on it is so they're basically saying that there aren't these parallel universes all happening at the exact same time, that it's all been woven into one thing.
One main
and
timeline.
We kind of get some of that from the Ancient One in Endgame when she's talking to Banner, and the fact that if the stones don't get replaced, then there's these new timelines that are branching off. So they're like picking up where that conversation left off, which is nice, but explaining how that works. Because in my mind, it almost makes me think like in the DC world, there's this multiple parallel thing going on where there's all these different timelines happening at the same time. Whereas with Marvel, it's all like these 3 Time Lords or whatever have woven it all together into the one true timeline. And it ultimately leads me to believe that this is all going to get blown up. And then that's how, we'll lead into Doctor Strange and all that stuff. But who knows?
Yeah, I got the same sense. I really thought this was some enlightening material. Because Loki is basically explaining to the audience. There's some quotes here that I want to go over. I have it somewhere. He's explaining stuff to the audience about how everything is manufactured to inspire fear in you. And I believe even the show that we're watching, he's actually telling that to us. And I think that's a pretty important message to get across. And the first and most oppressive lie ever uttered was the Song of Freedom. There's so many of these like genius quotes that he's just giving to people. And basically these Time Lords or whatever these guys are, the 3 people essentially that run the whole world. And so I think it's giving us clues to how reality works. I'm looking for the quote. It's the cruel, elaborate trick conjured by the weak to inspire fear, a desperate play for control. Anyway, I just thought some of the stuff that Loki actually said to us was fairly enlightening. And the idea that these timelines actually fought each other, that's a little weird. And that
I found that to be very interesting. And I think that's like where we're leading. Yeah, I think in like a grand scheme, I think they're planting some seeds here in it for
everything. Yeah.
Well, the next Thanos, scenario.
For some reason, we end up talking about reality way more than we probably should on this podcast. But if in reality, we have more control of our reality than we're led to believe, and we can each have like a timeline, like every person can have a timeline, which would be like the equivalent of timelines fighting, then you need to have these 3 overlords convincing us all that no, to stay on the same page, to stay in the same timeline. You know what I mean? So that there'll be more order. So I feel like this is a parallel to what may or may not actually be happening. On that note, space lizards. Yeah. Hey, there keeps being more leaks online about aliens and stuff like that. Like just CIA
UFOs are very real kind of thing. Yeah.
That's crazy. What world are we in?
Yeah, right.
I thought this was thought-provoking. Like, why? So he grabs the Tesseract and he's like, oh, I'm going to peace out and go to Mongolia.
That was such a disappointment because my man grabs the Space Stone and then just transports himself to the other end of the same planet. Like, bro, you could have gone anywhere. You could have gone to any number of planets. The possibilities are pretty endless here. And you just go to Mongolia? Come on, man. I was like, cool, we're going to go to some crazy planet. Maybe they don't have crazy planet budget for this episode 1. They got to spend it somewhere else. But I'm thinking most of this is green screen anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
it was strange.
Why couldn't we go to a different crazy world?
Well, I don't know why, but they are showing us something, right? They're like, hey, he's going to go to Mongolia and he's going to talk to these natives. And they're, for all intents and purposes, not going to be able to speak to him and seem kind of dumb, which is sad. And also, so what's weird in my brain, where there's like a cognitive dissonance because these people at one point in time, according to our history books, took over the entire world. But when you go there, there's just a few tribes and just complete desert. How did that happen? That's just what my brain thinks. Like, this is just doesn't make any sense. It literally makes no sense.
So my thought wasn't that they were portraying the Mongolians in any sort of negative light. What I liked was that he stands up on the rock, starts to give his speech saying, "This is who I am. And this is what I'm here to do." And they immediately answer with, "Who are you? What are you here to do?
Why are you at my home?"
That shows him as being an idiot for not knowing the language.
Or just just showing up. Yeah. No, he's definitely the idiot also.
So I thought the comedic effect was definitely putting him in the negative light. And then as far as Mongolians taking over the world, I think it was primarily just portions of China and some of the Middle East, maybe some of Russia.
Genghis Khan got all the way to the west, I believe. Pretty close.
Word? Man, I need to read up on him. There's a podcast about it. That hardcore history guy. I think he does a Genghis Khan. Except his podcasts are like 3 hours long. Each episode is 3 hours long. And the way he says again, and that I had to bow out of the World War I episodes.
Yeah, according to this, there's two things before Hungary. Okay, so Mongol invasion of Europe in the 13th century. So it does say Europe. So they got far, very far. They got to Austria. Right. So that's no joke. How do you have enough people?
Yeah.
When you live in a desert and you're basically just tribal type people, it doesn't like logically, my brain breaks. Like it makes no sense.
1300s, pretty much everybody's tribal at that point.
It depends on which book you read, I guess. Yeah.
If they're super hardcore and they're willing to fight a way that everybody else isn't, I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's just, to me, it doesn't add up. But yeah, it was such a long time ago that we don't really know. Was the climate different or whatever? Yeah.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's just always strange to me because when they show Mongolia, it's just so sparse and there's no, like, you couldn't even build the people up there because there's no resources. You know what I mean? There's no.
So I think of it as the horse folk from Game of Thrones, the Khal Drogo's people.
Yeah.
Who are they? What were they called? Yeah.
The Drogonites.
All of a sudden, there's a whole bunch of them. Yes. The Drogons. Drogonauts. There it is.
Is that
Drogonauts? Definitely. That's the official term.
Officially, that's totally it. Yeah. George R.R. Martin did on that book, by the way. Yeah.
Come on, bro. Come on. I'm going to have to reread like the last book just to remember where things are.
It was good to remind us that we're in the Marvel universe because this show is obviously getting weirder and weird. Like everything's getting weird.
Yep. And it reminds us of also like where we are in the timeline, which version of Loki this is. This isn't the guy who died at the beginning of Endgame. But just to remind those 8-year-olds who don't remember. And the adults who were passively watching.
I feel like the point of this show is that Loki will outsmart the Time Lord somehow. But obviously it's going to be a massive task just based on the amount of
power. And he has to stop his future self? His past self? His future self? I don't know.
I don't know if he'll stop him or if he'll just try to exist alongside of, like, maybe he'll let him die. Who knows? Or maybe he'll go save him. You know, because didn't he just choke him out and leave him there or something? Like,
wait, what?
When Loki died, wasn't he just choked out or whatever?
Oh, you think this might be Loki from Endgame?
I don't think it is, but I think Loki will at some point learn how the Time Lords control time and maybe go save himself somehow. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, that's a heck of a reveal at the end that the variant is you and we're bringing you in to stop you. That's odd, but we'll see how it goes. And I think if the end version of this ends with him being in charge of the TVA, that's hilarious because when he's in charge of things, they break. So him being the reason the multiverse explodes could be hilarious and set up the future for the Marvel universe.
Yeah, whatever it is they decide to do, they could go back, start all over or whatever. Yeah. There was a lot of bureaucracy in this episode. I felt like I was at the DMV.
TVA, lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the line? Like, he says something and then Owen Wilson comes back with, yeah, and so is the paperwork or whatever. Right. That was
I mean, good. He's in line and there's only 2 people in here. Like, get a ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the dude gets disintegrated for not having a ticket.
Yeah. This is just a projection of things to come. Yeah. Yeah. The authority. I love that line. The first and most oppressive lie ever uttered. The first and most oppressive lie ever uttered was the Song of Freedom. What are you going to do? I'm on the verge of acquiring everything I am owed, and when I do it, it will be because I did it, not because it's supposed to happen. Yeah. That's, I believe that is what is the word we never can find?
Foreshadowing.
Yes. Foreshadowing. Yes. Why are words so hard to find at this age?
Who knows?
Words and keys.
Having a key dish in the house really has been a game changer. And I've never been a key dish person, but here I am every day dropping my keys into this bowl. And now I always know where my keys are.
That's so great. What are we talking about? You had a whole punchline.
Man. What were we talking about?
Are we going to be able to have...
Let's pull this up. Pull up the shot of him getting punched in the face. Because that was a fun bit. They did a lot of fun time bits. I hope there's more of them. I hope this isn't the end of the fun time bits. Obviously, like putting the collar on him and having him being able to rewind him back to so that he can't get away. That's a fun bit. But as far as like time bits go, this was my favorite. She punches him. We think we're all in this slow motion. And then she creeps up and is like, yeah, so you're moving at 1/16. That was awesome.
I know they have to capture him for the show to work, but I don't see how she got that hit in. I don't know how she did that. Because she didn't slow down time or anything. She just hit him in the face with that stick. But those sticks, I feel like they do something. Right. Like she could have done something, but she didn't.
Yeah. And she could have disintegrated him. We've seen that with the sticks. Yeah, I don't know. We don't know all the rules on them sticks. But they pack a wallop.
Yeah. So the theory. So yeah, the shot here was pretty wow.
That was great, and this is within the first 3 minutes of the episode. So
yeah. So seeing the high speed shot.
So this was our first kind of exposure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if when Loki gets the power of the Time Lords, he will be the ultimate, like most powerful dude in the universe. It's gonna be wild. And then he'll screw it up somehow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course he'll screw it up.
Exactly.
Somehow. It's funny how they point that out. Like Luke Wilson's character, he's just pointing out all of his issues and problems.
All the little failures.
Yeah.
All the times he's tried to do something and blown it.
And his conversation style is so hilarious. Just let you talk and then be like, yeah, that's really what that was? Okay. It's not this? Yeah.
Right.
You sure it's not this? Because I've been watching you.
Yeah. I've only seen everything you've ever said and watched all of your life. No big deal.
We've never seen Owen Wilson look like this. Up until this point, every single movie he's ever been in, I feel like he's had this youthful appearance or trying to be youthful appearance. And here he's just all in F it.
Going a little gray. Just going to let it ride. I'm going to grow this cop mustache. I'm going to look. He reminds me of John Slattery. Is that his name? The guy who plays Howard Stark, the older version of Howard Stark.
Yeah, a little bit.
Reminds me of him a little bit. Yeah.
He has a different demeanor too. He's really acting here, I feel like. Because he's really playing a character. Because he doesn't have the confidence that he normally has. Like he's not standing straight. He's not.
He seems confident in what he's saying. Like, he's confident in his ideas. You know what I mean?
I just mean like his physical stature seems shrunken. Right. Maybe just in this shot, but it seems.
Well, he doesn't have. I feel like Owen Wilson's kind of a light, bouncy kind of guy. That's all of his characters have this like bouncy, energetic quality to them, and this character is not bouncy.
Definitely,
I would not call him bouncy.
Way more grounded
or light. He's just grounded. That's the good word.
I'm grounded right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, look, his posture is not 100% there.
Okay.
So anyway,
they really had to establish some things in this episode, and getting this version of Loki a little bit closer to the Loki that we've seen more of most recently. And the scene of him watching his mother die and like the emotional toll that took on him, I thought Tom Hiddleston did a really good job of showing that growth kind of happen. And he has that moment where he eventually just turns away and stops looking, and you're like, I remember what's happening on the screen at that time.
I think you were totally right about him going from 14 Loki to
12,
the current Loki that we all know and love, or more love. We don't mind so much.
Yeah.
What else?
How they play around with the idea of the multiverse, I found really interesting. The emotional journey of Loki, bringing him a little bit closer to like filling him in on what kind of his timeline looked like, and then explaining just how the time variance authority works.
I feel like we should talk about the Infinity Stones being just there in a drawer.
Right. Yeah.
So the most powerful thing in the universe is basically useless in this. What is this area called? This like alternate timeline office space. Like,
I have no idea.
The AV. What are they called? TVA. Yeah. It's like
yeah.
It reminds me of a lot. For some reason, I'm getting flashbacks to that Lucasfilm film game where the guy is dead and he's just like living in hell. And he has to work his way back out or whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I do not know this game.
It's called Grim Fandango.
Grim Fandango.
Yeah, it was so entertaining and like hilarious. You're basically like working your way out of hell. Like you're like in an office and like you have jobs to do. And, yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
And it's all this like film noir meets.
You watched Umbrella Academy, correct?
Yeah.
It has that season, or that the time people with the briefcases. It has
same thing. Yeah, it has that vibe.
Yeah,
too. Yeah,
like it's a little bit more like 60s, whereas TVA is like a little bit more 70s. But yeah,
it has that like
they're dipping their toes in the same pool here.
Yeah. I mean, how else can you tell the story, though? You've got to put it somewhere. Right. You don't want to put them floating around in space or whatever.
Both operating in these places outside of time. And then how do these people end up like working there? And do they work forever? How does that work? Do you put in a certain amount of time and then you get moved into the timeline and get to live a life? There's some overall questions here.
So what we're saying is like nothing has any power in this area. The area itself is the power. Like... They have like ultimate power essentially, which is wild. So, in my mind, Loki is really like looking at this going, how can I run this? That's the
impression definitely. Absolutely. And it makes me also wonder how Eternals is going to fit into this. Are they going to fit into this? I don't know.
Yeah. Did we talk about that?
I'm just confused.
Did we talk about the Eternals trailer?
I watched the trailer.
There was no bad guy.
I don't think so.
There was nothing. There was no antagonist, and there was no story exposed. Like no motivation for any of the characters.
It's just here's some people, and they've been around a long time, and it sounds like now they're going to do something, but we don't know why.
Or why?
Don't know why.
We don't know what, and we don't know why.
But this movie also doesn't come out for a long time. I think it's like December or something. So we got a while before it'll matter. I'm sure they'll leak out some more information.
Yeah, for I guess a teaser trailer, it's fine. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just it does nothing.
It teased.
It does nothing to make us excited. That's the only issue.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with Marvel. Like, it's like, what's with all the exposition? Like, why do they have to explain so much? Why can't they just show? It's really starting to bother me. Like in general, modern storytelling. It's just, we have to explain this thing and this thing. Where, like, I just keep going back to it. Where Star Wars, the universe is so vast, so complicated, but we just were thrown into it.
Yeah, we picked up on episode 4. Yeah.
Why can't we just
don't watch any of the Michael Bay films?
Yeah, just show, not tell.
Don't watch any Michael Bay films, because that is going to. Yeah. Oh, that's exactly how Transformers goes down. There's 2 hours of just stuff happening, and then it's like a 15-minute monologue by a Transformer that's, here's why everything that just happened mattered. Because
so your brain doesn't melt. Yeah.
That we did it. Well, you might think we did it just for spectacle, and now we're tying it all together. Sure. Yeah.
So you'll come back to the next one and watch the next. All right. Okay. What are you most excited about? What are you excited about the show?
What am I most excited about? I am excited about the show. Yeah, definitely. I'm excited. I think Loki's a charismatic character that is fun to watch, and if nothing else pans out, it'll just be fun to watch Loki do Loki. And then seeing where this, I guess, what's going on with this other Loki that is murdering the time people and, causing variances.
Oh, right.
I'm curious to see what that is and how that's going to work.
Yeah, where did this other Loki come from? Yeah, they didn't explain that. I feel like they set this up.
Loki? Is it a future Loki?
They set this up really well. Like, they must have known they were doing this a while ago. When was it? In Endgame, when they went back in time and then he grabbed the Tesseract and bolted out. That's been a while. So they knew they were going here for a long time. Yeah. I don't know how they plan all this stuff, but I'm glad they do.
Yeah. I'm glad they have a plan, unlike J.J. Abrams. I'm just going to keep coming back to that.
I'm impressed that you're upset about it, because you seemed so chill about it before.
Yeah. At the time, with the idea that Rian Johnson was writing and directing the second movie and then writing the third movie, I was like, okay, there's going to be some consistency there, and that will work itself out. And then whenever they made the decision to not have him write the third one, and then Colin Trevorrow's out, and then JJ's back in, and just all of that, if they would have just had an outline from the beginning. Now, that outline still would have gotten decimated by Carrie Fisher dying. Yeah. Obviously, that definitely
doesn't help.
That had an impact on the plan, but
not having it at all.
Should have had more of a plan.
Yeah, at all.
Right.
Like, you didn't say,
not having a plan.
You didn't say, we're going to start here and we want to end in this general vicinity. No, there's just, we're going to start here and who knows?
Yeah. Such a shame.
What a waste. But yeah, there's weird rumors about
but
George
at
Lucas
the same time,
back
I would rewatch.
Just like, who knows?
I would rewatch any of those 3 movies right now. I would put any of them on right now. I would watch any of them right now. If you were like, do you want to watch Phantom Menace or do you want to watch Rise of Skywalker? I'd be like, probably Rise of Skywalker. No, but I also, watch Phantom Menace from time to time. So,
Yeah, I probably of the prequels, I like the one that people like the least, which is the second one. For whatever reason.
Oh, Attack of the Clones?
I don't know why.
Yeah. Man, it changes daily for me. It really just depends on what mood I'm in at the time that I'm sitting down to watch something. Because sometimes I just want to watch, the Darth Maul fight because it was amazing. Sometimes I want to see a more good Anakin Skywalker, and sometimes I want to see Rage Monster Anakin Skywalker. It's just,
yeah. And they're bringing him back. He's been cast in the Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
we never talked about this. Yeah, I don't think.
Hayden Christensen Redemption Tour.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Let's get him back in.
I think
give him a
he's
script
actually
that's good.
Getting in the costume, which is weird. But hey.
Yeah.
Now to wear.
Definitely.
Does he have to wear stilts? I don't know.
I don't know. I think they had to platform him up a little bit.
He's pretty tall.
He's what? Probably
is that a podcast? Like the video if you're watching on YouTube.
Please.
And thank you.
Subscribe.
My mother always said, please and say please and thank you. That's what she always told me.
Please subscribe. Please subscribe if you're listening on the Apple Podcast app, or if you're on the Spotify, give us the heart.
Give us the follow or whatever it is now.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Whatever.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you for listening, whoever this is.
Thank you, Jacob.
I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.